Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I am doing the Popular Opinions book tag that was created by my good friend here in the community, Abby from the channel Abby Salter, whose channel of course will be linked down below in the description box if you want to check her out. I highly recommend you do so. She has amazing fantasy reviews and recommendation videos. So she kind of had the idea to take the Unpopular Opinions book tag and kind of just reverse all of the questions on it to be just about the most popular books that you love and just have this opportunity to gush over those. So I'm excited because I get to gush about my favorites. So let's just get right into the tag video. What is a popular book or series that you love? For this one, I'm going to have to go with The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang. This is everywhere in the community. It has been so hyped up and I think it is completely deserved. I loved this book so much. It might go down as one of my all-time favorite fantasies. I'm just waiting to finish The Burning God before I officially put that whole series on my list. But I pretty much loved everything about this book. I have a full review that I will link down below for it if you want to check out all of my thoughts. But kind of the highlights from that review and why I love this book so much is, first of all, the historical context behind it and kind of what R.F. Kuang was inspired by when she was writing this, I thought was fascinating to explore. I loved the idea of taking a real life historical event and kind of putting a fantasy spin on it. It brings more awareness to that event that a lot of people didn't learn about in school. And I just loved the messages behind this book. I thought were fantastic and how it really didn't glorify war at all. I also loved the main character of Rin so much. And I know that she is quite an unlikable protagonist. She's quite frustrating. She definitely makes decisions that I don't approve of, but I loved her story. I really enjoy her character and just getting to examine why she's making these decisions. So if you haven't checked out The Poppy War, please go do so. The next question is an underhyped book or series that you love. For this one, I'm going to have to go with the Chaos Walking trilogy by Patrick Ness, starting with The Knife of Never Letting Go. So I know that this one just had a movie come out for it, so some people will say that this is probably not considered underhyped. However, I just don't see a ton of people talk about this book or this series in the community, at least for the folks that I follow. So I just wanted to show it a little more love here because I think that this is one of the most fantastic sci-fi young adult series out there that I have personally read. It is about a boy named Todd who grows up in this village where there are no women that exist and every man can hear every other man's thoughts and they call it the noise. So you're constantly hearing everyone else's thoughts and you're seeing images kind of projected into your own mind from other people's minds, and it's super noisy in everyone's heads. And Todd is out exploring one day and notices a spot of silence, and when he goes to explore it, he discovers a girl and he can't hear the girl's thoughts. Never seen a girl before, he has no idea where she came from, so that kind of jump starts this story and you figure out, why is this girl here? Where did she come from? Why are there no women in this society? It's fascinating. It's such a good book. It gets quite dark. I thought that the characters were spectacular. The villain is so good in this series, and the messages and the themes get so dark, especially in the later books. So I love this series. Highly recommend it if you haven't checked it out already. The next question is a romance, a love triangle, or one true pairing that you love. I'm definitely going to bring up another popular opinion here, and that is the love triangle and romance from the Infernal Devices trilogy by Cassandra Clare. This starts with Clockwork Angel, ends with Clockwork Princess. I definitely think Clockwork Princess, the third and final book in that trilogy, is the best. This romance I was not expecting to enjoy. I usually don't like love triangles at all, but for some reason this trilogy handled the love triangle and the romances so well. I loved all of the main characters so much and just wanted them to be happy and was going to be happy no matter how it turned out. And then we get to the end and it's just, I don't even want to say anything in case you haven't read it and you want to. I don't want to spoil anything, but oh my god, I was sobbing by the epilogue of Clockwork Princess. Oh, it was a lot. It was a lot of emotions. So, oh my goodness, I loved the romances in this series, and that's something I typically don't even really enjoy in my fantasy books is romance. But man, the Infernal Devices really had me hooked, rooting for all the good things to come for these characters. Next question is a favorite genre or a popular genre you want to read more from. So my favorite genre is fantasy, but a popular genre that I'd like to read more from would probably have to be sci-fi. And I've been trying to read more sci-fi and I've gotten through a lot of really good ones. I'm having a lot of fun with all of the sci-fis I do end up picking up. So I would definitely say like fantasy is what I read the most and it's my favorite, but sci-fi is quickly becoming a favorite as well because of how much I've been enjoying everything I've been picking up. The next question is a popular character that you love. This one I gotta go with the most obvious response, and that's Kaladin from the Stormlight Archive. I mean, he's the best. He's the best. I mean, really, like, and it changes. It's so funny because after reading Oathbringer, my favorite was Dalinar, but then after reading Rhythm of War, my favorite is now back to Kaladin. And, you know, Kaladin is dealing with a lot throughout this series. He is dealing with depression, so there is a lot of struggle there throughout the whole series that I think is handled really well. Like, I just love his arc. And he's just, I love Kaladin. I mean, who doesn't like Kaladin? All right, next question is an autobuy author. And again, I have to go with a very popular response here. And this is the Popular Opinions book tag. So I feel like just saying my most popular answers is the obvious thing to do for this tag. And that would be Brandon Sanderson. I've loved really everything I've read by Brandon Sanderson so far. Stormlight Archive and Mistborn are a couple of my favorites. I also really loved Warbreaker. That might be more of a favorite than Mistborn, but I do still have to reread Mistborn, so that might change with a reread. But yeah, I have to say Brandon Sanderson for this one. The other one that I might say is quickly becoming a new autobuy author is Robert Jackson Bennett, who wrote City of Stairs and Foundry Side, and I loved City of Stairs. I need to finish that trilogy, but I also loved Foundry Side and Shorefall. That third book in that trilogy has not been released yet, so I haven't actually completed a series, which is why I can't firmly say if he's an autobuy author yet. But I feel like, given what I've read from him, I've loved everything. So I feel like I'm going to continue to really like his books. The next question is a popular book trope that you love. The Chosen One. I love The Chosen One. I never get tired of it. I love seeing variations of The Chosen One as well. Books like Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo. I love The Chosen One trope in this book. I think it does it really well as Malice by John Gwynne does a really fun take on The Chosen One that I think is brilliant. Series like A Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas has a really fun Chosen One trope, as well as The Black Prism by Brent Weeks. I love that. You could also say that Stormlight and Mistborn also kind of have a Chosen One thing going on in there. Anything where there's a specific character called out as being kind of destined to be greater than they know, I love that stuff. I eat it up. So that would definitely be my favorite trope. The next question is a popular series that you're excited to read. I feel like I gotta go with Robin Hobb and The Assassin's Apprentice for this one because I have seen so many people around the community loving Robin Hobb. Oh my goodness. And I've seen mixed reviews on Assassin's Apprentice, but I've heard that it kind of only gets better from Assassin's Apprentice, and especially I think the second series in this world starting with, what is it? The ship? The live ship. The Live Ship Traders? Is that what it's called? That one I've heard is spectacular. So like any Robin Hobb, I feel like I'm so behind the times. And by not having read Robin Hobb, I'm like totally missing out. So I'm really excited to finally be getting into Robin Hobb this year. The next and final question is a popular book and film where you love the story in both formats. I gotta go again with the most obvious answer here. And that is Lord of the Rings by J.R.R. Tolkien. I love the books. I love the movies. I actually did a whole video kind of reviewing the books and then comparing them to the movies and talking about kind of what I loved about the books versus the movies, what I thought the movies did better than the books and vice versa. So if you want to see that video, I'll link it down below. But needless to say, I think both formats for this story were spectacular. The books were amazing. The movies were amazing. They each had their strengths. And while I thought I just connected so much to the characters more in the books, I thought the action and just the scope of the movies was so epic. The action scenes and battles I thought were just done so well. So they're both just phenomenal. And I feel like that's just the most obvious answer I could give here. So that is it for the popular opinions book tag. I am going to, I don't know who's been tagged already for this video, so I'm going to tag just a couple more people, and if you've already done it, then let me know because I'd love to see your video. I'll tag Leanna from Leanna's Library, I'll tag Joshana, and then I will also tag Alex from Alex Nieves. So y'all are tagged, feel free to do it. And then if anyone else is watching and has their own channel, then you can also consider yourself tagged. And if you end up doing this video, definitely let me know so that I can check out your answers. Thank you all so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you'd like to, and I will see you all in my next one. Bye!